Hey guys, it's Nick from the CREE here, and since the Ezio collection is right around the corner, I thought it would be smart to rate all the Assassin's Creed games titles according to my own opinions. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off at the bottom with number 9, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. This is pretty harsh, but Syndicate was a game that I could have been without. The story never really piqued my interest, and at times it felt more like Jacob wanted to be a gangster than an assassin. The modern day was just like Unity. Apart from a couple interesting cutscenes, it never really gave us anything that progressed the story in any major way. The ending is setting up for an exciting storyline, but in the end, the entire modern day was disappointing. The ancestor story was funny at times, and I liked the connection between the siblings, but the overall story was weak and didn't feel important at all. That's why I rate this as the most disappointing main game in the franchise thus far. At number 8, it's Assassin's Creed Rogue. In some ways, it deserves to be well above that because the story is great, and it's very interesting to see a different side of the Templars. But the game itself is way too short to be a full-priced release. It's just not what we expect from a AAA game. Although it's one of my favorites, it's still not good enough to be any higher on the list. Many of the game mechanics didn't feel important, and you could easily complete the whole game without upgrading the Morgan more than the minimal requirements. It's fun at times, but way too short. Number 7. Assassin's Creed Unity. This was the first next-gen Assassin's Creed game. It was meant to bring the franchise to the new consoles and revolutionize fundamental game mechanics like fighting, parkour, and stealth. Sadly, they weren't able to deliver. Stealth was close to useless, the parkour worked nicely, but because of all the bugs, it was easy to get stuck and fall through the game world. The fighting was really satisfying to look at and was well balanced, but it felt slow and wasn't very responsive. It was definitely a good attempt, and they did a lot right, but the glitches and bugs ruined the game experience in the beginning. Looking through and beyond the bugs though, it's honestly not a bad game. Paris is fun to explore and Arno is an interesting character, although his fanatic obsession with Elise was annoying at times. It was very satisfying to be a part of the Brotherhood again though, and you could see the respect and honor within the assassins, and for the first time in years, you felt like a true assassin. Unfortunately, the horrible modern day drags the game down and lands itself on a number 7. At number 6, Assassin's Creed Revelations. This was the game that concluded the adventures of my favorite assassin, Ezio Auditore. The game was great in terms of fighting and story. You felt powerful as an experienced assassin, and you felt respected by the Brotherhood. It was great to see how Ezio had aged and how wise he had become. The setting was interesting, but definitely not the best in the series. The city of Constantinople felt very repetitive at times and wasn't as visually appealing as Rome, Venice, and Firenze. The ending was probably the best in the series. It gave me the chills and still reminds me to this day why I love Assassin's Creed. The modern day here is a little bit weak, but he gave us interesting details about Desmond's life, so I guess that's good enough. The number 5 spot goes to the original Assassin's Creed. This is the game that started it all and introduced us into the world of Assassins and Templars. The game has aged well and is still very playable today. The setting is excellent and it's very interesting to see the Templars in their proper armor and the Assassins at their prime. Altair is an excellent character and a very fun man to play as. His story is brilliant and everything about the game is well done and definitely impressive. At number 4, Assassin's Creed 3. This game delivered on the best modern day story and adventures. You got to explore the world with Desmond and act as a real assassin. The game itself was really long and the story was well written and fun to play. Of course, it has its flaws. Connor was very ignorant at times, but I liked him as a character. And the fighting mechanics and animations is probably the best in the series. Ultimately, I enjoyed AC3 a lot and played it for countless hours. And now for the top 3. At third place, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This game was phenomenal. The open world was fantastic and Edward was such a good character. The entire story and all the characters were on point, and it has a bunch of replay value in terms of fun exploration. The Assassin story in modern day wasn't the best, but the game itself was brilliant, and I loved it. Deciding between the last two is very difficult, but I had to go with feelings in this one. So on second place, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. A more mature Ezio and a larger city made this game one of the best Assassin's Creed games yet. The story is of course on point. All the Ezio games were tremendously good on the story department. The modern day here is even better than AC2. Seeing Montregione in the present day with electricity, signs, and cars really makes you appreciate history. And the answer to the story does the same thing. Renaissance Italy is very interesting, and characters like Leonardo da Vinci and Niccolò Machiavelli makes this game shine. If there weren't personal feelings involved, this would be the #1 Assassin's Creed game. And that takes us to the #1 spot. And you most likely guessed it, Assassin's Creed 2. The game brought the franchise to another level. The emotional depth and exciting storyline is unmatched, according to me. And I love this game above all else. I made a separate video on this game where I go into more depth. You should definitely check that out. But that concludes the top 9 Assassin's Creed games. Can't wait for the next one so this franchise can get a proper top 10. But for now, we can look forward to the Ezio collection and have tens of hours of fun in Italy and Turkey. Thank you for watching. Leave a link if you enjoyed. Leave your list in the comments below. Subscribe for more Assassin's Creed content. And until the next time, bye.